Will elections happen or will they not? What are the going-ons of the country? Welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1, bringing you the news from the news desk. You're here with me, Sandro Satyajit. Before we take a look at your news in detail, first, let's take a look at your headlines. Protests continue against electricity tariff hike. Trade unions warn of collective action from 1st of March if government does not withdraw income tax amendments.
වෘත්තීය සමිතිය කියයි. 22 වෙනිදා නම් කළු සතියක් අපි ප්‍රකාශිතපත් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Maha Sangha voices opinion on the conduct of the local government election. 1 person dead in a shooting in Minuangoda. Fatal motor accident in Japan kills 2 Sri Lankans. In news we received just a while ago, the National Election Commission says it will not be conducting the postal voting process for the upcoming local government elections on the previously announced dates. Now, postal voting for the local government election was scheduled to be held on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th and 28th of February. However, issuing a letter, Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sri Ratnayaka says postal voting will not be conducted on the scheduled dates owing to the failure by the government printer to provide postal voting ballots to the NEC by the required dates. Now, I'd like to repeat that once again. The National Election Commission says it will not be conducting the postal voting process for the upcoming local government election on the previously announced dates. Now, moving on to other local news, trade unions have announced that a collective strike will be launched from the 1st of March opposing the government's new income tax regime. Now, the announcement was made during a media briefing held last evening with the participation of trade union representatives from numerous industries.
A media briefing was held at the Mahaveli Centre yesterday with the participation of the Intellectuals Trade Union Collective and the Joint Trade Union Front of Petroleum, Electricity and Water Supply.
The government is following a very subdued approach with regards to the tax amendments. We decided collectively to act against this tax amendment and to oppose it. He warned this government to immediately resolve this issue. This is a joint statement from those attached to multiple sectors including water supply, electricity, petroleum, academia and healthcare. If not, severe trade union action will be taken over the next few weeks. The country will cease to function if that happens.
මේ රට වැහෙන තත්ත්වයට ඉදිරියේදී පත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිසා අද අපි වෘත්තීය සමිති විදිහට මේ රටේ ऐतिहासिक තීන්දුවක් ගත්තා.
We made a historic decision today for a collective trade union action to be launched. We have decided to announce a black week from the 22nd of this month. We will reassess this by the 1st of March, and if the situation has not improved, we will launch a massive strike.
පළවෙනිදාට මේ රටේ අපි සමස්ත මහා වැඩවර්ජනයකට සැලසුම් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Now, in other news, an organization named Citizens of the People's Struggle launched a Satyagraha opposite the Ministry of Power and Energy today in protest of the unbearable electricity tariff hike.
The Satyagraha is being held opposite the premises of the Ministry of Power and Energy. Although the protesters made an appeal to meet Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara, they weren't allowed.
හරි ඔයසි මහත්තයා අපිට විනාඩි 5ක් ගහුම්වත් දෙන්න. සත්‍යවාදී කර්ලිකාරු නෙමෙයි. ඔබතුමාගේ යුනිෆෝම් එක තියෙන වේදනාව ඇතුළේ අපි දන්නවා. හැබැයි අපි ආවේ මෙතන ඉන්න ඇමතිව හරි කවුරු හරි විශේෂ කටයුතු සම්බන්ධ නිලධාරියෙක් හම්බෙන්න. අපිට ඔබතුමා අපි මෙතන අවේර කරන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට ඔබතුමා මැදිහත් වෙලා අදාළ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ කවුරු හරි විශේෂ කෙනෙක් අපි හම්බෙන්න කටයුතු සලස්සලා දෙන්න. නෑ අපි මම ඒගොල්ලෝ සම්බන්ධ කරලා ආඩුනේ මහත්තයෝ විනාඩි 10ක් විතර ගියා. ඉතින් විනාඩි මේ ඔබතුමාගේ OIC මහත්තයා හම්බෙන්නාම විනාඩි 10ක් යනකොට පොලිසියට අදාළ OIC හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ ඉතින් මෙතන කවුරු පියන් කෙනෙක් හරි අපිට හම්බෙන්නද? අපිට ගෙඩින්න. ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපිට ගෙඩින්න. පියන් කෙනෙක් හරි අපිට මේක හම්බෙන්න ඕන. අපිට කතා කරමු.
At a time when the people are struggling to ensure their right to live, Kanchana Wijesekara has stepped in and unfairly hiked electricity tariffs. He says he has to increase tariffs. He has no shame. They claim an uninterrupted supply of power can be given. Our question is, if they are charging us in rupees and coal is imported using dollars, where did they suddenly generate dollars from?
පහුගිය කාලේ මහජන විපිතා කොමිෂන් සභාවේ සභාපතිවරයා එකක් කිව්වා. ඒ වගේම මේකේ ඉන්න අමාත්‍යවරයා ඇතුළු ලේකම්වරයා ඒ අය වෙනත් ප්‍රකාශයක් කරා. ඒතර සමාජයේ තව
In the recent past, the chairman of the PUCSL expressed different opinions. The subject minister and secretaries made some other statements. Then there were different sentiments within society as well. However, we thought something legitimate will take place. We cannot be satisfied even in the least about how this increase took place. The issue is not whether tariffs increased or decreased. What matters now is whether the people were given a fair chance on this matter. We could not identify the accuracy of this.
අපහසුවෙන් ජීවත් වෙන ජනතාවට සාධාරණයක් ඉෂ්ට වුණාද මේක හරිද වැරදිද කියන එක අපට හොයාගන්න ක්‍රමයක් නොලැබුණා කියන එක තමයි අපි ඉන්නේ.
මේ රටේ ඒකක 90ට The electricity tariff increase has targeted people who use less than 90 units per month, who made the CEB run at a loss. It was politicians, not the CEB. The entire country today is running at a loss. Now, to control the emotions of the people who are dissatisfied with the electricity tariff hike, they have announced that power outages will not occur again. We would like to tell the people, you can be happy for another month. After a month, when your electricity bill is sent to your house, you yourselves will be disconnecting your power lines.
Chairman of the Surakimu Sri Lanka organisation, Venerable Pahiyangala Anandathira, says the Maha Sangha is completely against the decision to increase electricity tariffs in an unjust manner.
Without even taking a single % of the economic issues faced by the people into consideration, the President and Minister Kanchana have dragged the people to rock bottom by legitimately increasing the electricity tariffs, and the Maha Sangha is completely against the move. We request the citizens of this country to refrain from paying these unbearable costs. In reality, the larger impact is on the segments who are less privileged. How can these people pay? Don't they know how people are making ends meet? Mayoral candidate of the Samagi Jana Balawege, Mujibur Rahman, attending a public rally in Colombo, spoke about the office of the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission being sealed.
Light bill එක 160කින් ආණ්ඩුව නැවත වැඩි කරලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් අඩු ආදායම් ලාභීන්
The government has increased the electricity tariffs by another 60%. However, the electricity tariffs of the low-income earners have increased by 250%. The PUCSL chairman engaged in a one-man aragalaya to voice his opposition on the increase. Now the government has sealed his office, stating a conspiracy is taking place within the premises to remove the current government from power. If that is the case, even the election commission can be sealed as well, because even conducting an election is inconveniencing the government. That is why Ranil Wickremesinghe is trying to skip the election. That is why he says there are no funds. Now don't be surprised if they seal the election commission office.
Sri Lanka's election headquarters.
The National Election Commission says that it has requested in writing from the Inspector General of Police to provide additional security to the government printer. Chairman of the NEC, Attorney Nimal Punjaheva, said the relevant letter was directed to the IGP last evening. Recently, government printer Gangan Lianage reveals that printing related to the local government elections has stalled owing to the lack of police security. When Newsfirst inquired from the government printer last night, she claimed additional police security had not been provided as of last night.
On to other news now. The hike in electricity tariffs and the new tax regime and the insurmountable cost of living are but some of the issues Sri Lanka's populace is currently facing. Now, amid all of these issues, the shortage of medicines has now turned severe.
These patients who arrived at the Puttlam-based hospital to attend clinic treatments had to return home without any comfort due to the medicine shortage.
බේත් සමහර ඒවා නැහැ ස්පිතාලවල. මොකද ඒකට ෆාමසියෙන් ගන්න වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා ෆාමසි ගියාම වෙන ගණන්.
අපි අද මිල මුදල් නැති ඉඳනේ මහත්තයෝ මේ ස්පිතාලෙට ඉන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ බෙහෙත් එක මහත්තයෝ එක පෙත්තක් 140 ගාණක්. දවසට පෙති දෙකක් ගන්න ඕන.
අපි පාන්දර දෙකේ ඉඳන් මෙතන ඇවිල්ලා හිටන් රත්තියා දෙනවා. අපිට හැමදාම බෙහෙත් අඩුයි. ෆාමසියෙන් ගන්න අපේ සල්ලි නැහැනේ මහත්තයා.
Patients who visited the Badula General Hospital also faced a similar experience. The Assistant Secretary of the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Palitha Rajapaksa, expressed the following views regarding the prevailing situation.
People are right. When we say there is a shortage of specific medicine, they bring it down. But at the same time, we run out of another medicine. Patients are provided with the prescribed medicine on an irregular basis. We do not see a continuous flow of medicine supplies. This is a huge threat.
Exhibition on organic agricultural products organized by Peace Winds Japan, an NGO of Japan, was held in Trincomalee on Thursday.
Since 2011, with the support of the government of Japan, Peace Winds Japan has been supporting livelihood development of the areas affected by the civil war, mainly through agriculture, including rehabilitation and development of devastated agricultural infrastructure and promotion of organic agriculture to add value to agricultural products. Afterwards, the Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mitsukoshi Hideki, held discussions with the Eastern Province Governor Anuradha Yahampat in Trincomalee on Thursday.
I think there is a very much potential here for tourism industry. It's very rich nature, and also you can do a lot of marine sports. There are lots of cultural heritages. I think Japanese tourists will be very much interested in those things.
We had a long chat because we actually discussed about the potential for development of the Eastern Province in tourism, in agriculture, as well as other opportunities. Actually, there is a lot of value addition for Palmyra production. But as the council, what we are doing is encouraging the value addition in order to market it. We will invite retailers, retail stores as well for this kind of an exhibition.
Anuradha Yahampat, the Eastern Province Governor, noted that she hopes to implement this exhibition in Batiklo and Ampara as well as other districts.
The High Commission of Pakistan, in collaboration with Ministry of Commerce and Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, the TDAP, organized a promotional event for Pakistani kinnos or mandarins at the BMICH in Colombo.
Mohan Priyadarshana De Silva, State Minister of Agriculture, and AHM Fauzi, Member of Parliament, graced the occasion as chief guest and guest of honour. The High Commissioner of Pakistan, Major General retired Umar Farooq Burki, stated that it was a matter of immense pride to highlight one of Pakistan's finest produce in Sri Lanka. He highlighted that Pakistan is the 12th largest producer of citrus fruits in the world and the largest producer of kinno, a unique variety of citrus that is indigenous to this part of the world. The High Commissioner encouraged Sri Lankan importers to source competitively priced high-quality kinnos from Pakistan so that this delicious fruit can be enjoyed by all Sri Lankans. The event was attended by members of the Diplomatic Corps in Colombo, senior government officials and leading Sri Lankan fruit importers and supermarkets.
And now back to one of the most pressing issues, the electricity tariff hike. Now, MP Chantima Virakudi expressed the following views on the increase of the electricity tariffs during a media briefing in Galle yesterday.
They are getting ready to import coal, 240 USD per metric ton. There's coal in the market valued at 200 USD per metric ton. So $50 for 720,000 means $3.6 million. That is the profit this team is trying to obtain through this transaction. We had to bear this increase in electricity tariffs for these people to fill their pockets. Just think about how households can afford to pay their electricity bills.
මේ රටේ දුප්පත් අහිංසක මිනිස්සු කී දෙනෙක්ගේ විදුලි බිල ගෙවන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න.
The second generation organization called a press conference in Colombo yesterday and said that the local government elections should be held on the scheduled date. We know that the government owns the government printer. Such elections were held before. Ballot papers were printed. Based on this premise, even exams might get postponed because exam papers are also printed by the government printer. In addition, children's textbooks may also not be available. Then this country does not need a leader. If it is not possible to hold an election, if it is not possible to print ballot papers, if there's no solutions either, then democracy cannot be suppressed and a dictatorial rule can be carried out in this country. People should stand up against this. We say clearly that this election must be held as scheduled.
අපි කියන පැහැදිලිව මේ ඡන්දය නියමිත දිනට පැවැත්විය යුතුමයි.
Back to news, onto news overseas. The BBC's officers were raided in India. Now, we'll know about this story within just a few moments.
The BBC said, quote, "We will continue to cooperate with the authorities and hope matters are resolved as soon as possible, and we will continue to report without fear or favour," unquote. The investigation comes weeks after the BBC aired a documentary in the UK critical of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The BBC's documentary India, The Modi Question, was broadcast on television only in the UK, but India's government has attempted to block people sharing it, describing it as, quote, "hostile propaganda and anti-government garbage with a colonial mindset," unquote. The BBC statement continued, quote, "We are supporting staff, some of whom have faced lengthy questioning or been required to stay overnight, and their welfare is our priority," unquote. They added that last month the Indian government was offered a right to reply to the documentary, but they had declined.
On to other news overseas. Ukraine's president says he has ruled out giving up any of his country's territory in potential peace deal with Russia. Zelensky warned that giving up land would mean Russia could return, while Western weapons could bring peace closer. The Ukrainian president was speaking in a BBC interview to mark a year first new medium lift launcher in 3 decades failed to lift off on Friday because 2 secondary booster engines strapped to the side of the space vehicle did not ignite.
So big that I cannot really believe that it is going to...
During the live stream,
to news here at home, a person has been shot and killed in Boragodawatta area of Minuangoda. Now, the police said that the killing took place at around 9:45 last night. The deceased is a 30-year-old resident of Adiyambalama area in Pilawatta, and it has been revealed that a person was hiding and waiting for the victim, who was travelling on a motorcycle and had committed the murder. Now, the suspects who committed the shooting have not yet been identified, but Minuangoda police are conducting further investigations into the shooting. Meanwhile, the opposition leader, along with members of the SJB, met with the business community in Kandy yesterday.
ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම කතා කරනවා නම් අපේ රටේ තිබෙනවා බරපතල අසමතුලිතතාවය.
There is a great imbalance in our country. 80% of our tax revenue comes from indirect taxes. The 20% comes from progressive taxes. Taxes should increase as you earn more. That is the fair method. What should be done first is correcting this imbalance. We have practical economists. Politicians must have a good understanding of all these policies. A politician cannot rely solely on officials' advice. Our team has a good understanding on such aspects.
අපේ ඉන්න දේශපාලන කණ්ඩායම ආර්ථික ප්‍රතිපත්තිය පිළිබඳව හොඳ මනා දැනුමක් හොඳ මනා අවබෝධයක් තිබෙන කණ්ඩායම.
That's all the news for now. Bringing you the news from the news desk. This is Sandro Satyajit signing off. Stay tuned to our social media pages for updates of the very latest. Take care.